8 struggles Margot Robbie went through to become Harley Quinn. What does Margot Robbie had to do on set that she is despised? How did she learn to hold her breath for 5 minutes underwater? What was it about the Joker that made Margot desire Harley Quinn's breakup with him? Hello and welcome back to Off-Cam Celebs. For today's video, we will be talking about the 8 struggles Margot Robbie went through to become Harley Quinn. Are you ready? Let's get started. Modernizing the style. Can you imagine Margot Robbie wearing the full jester outfit for the entire movie? Of course, she would still rock it, but Harley Quinn's updated hot image has become iconic. Well, the comic book suggested different looks that the actress could try on, including a corset with a mini shorts, but her style had to be grounded in reality to have a gritty street character. And it wasn't made from scratch. Robbie's badass style was based on a young Debbie Harris image. Barely their shorts, which looks more like an underwear, grunge spikes belt and torn t-shirts and heels, and actually stiletto gym shorts. We're not the initial wardrobe choice for Harley Quinn. Margot tried to wearing ducks and flat shoes, but after the first camera test, it was clear that the character needed more height to look better. And of course, not any pair of heels would be suitable, so when Robbie said the Adidas ones, she knew that she were sick enough to fit perfectly into her costume. She calls them the worst idea ever, and she had to wear them all the time. Anytime anyone on set complains like, "This is really hard, I'm getting tired," I'm like, "Everything you're doing, I'm doing. In stilettos, okay, I'm doing as much as you. All these stairs we're walking up, I'm doing it in with heels." Robbie also named her gold bangles with spikes among with things she hated. And she kept stabbing herself. Margot confessed that the visual part of her transformation into Harley Quinn was both the most favorite and the most hated thing. She loved having her skin completely widened and covered in tattoos, and the wig was amazing. But it took her 3 hours every day to look like on set. And considering that all the rain and the fight scenes, every extra layer of clothes and makeup made it more complicated. To act still with all their hair and makeup was a very important part to start feeling like her character and even behave differently. Becoming a comic nerd. Though the role of Harley Quinn was not something, Margot Robbie was the fight of her transformation into the villain protagonist. Was far the easy to go get Harley Quinn's right into the embody every facet of her complex character. The Aussie actress did a lot of research. Robbie landed the role just before Christmas, so for the festive season, she turned into a real comic book and nerd. Margot had a massive stock on her reading list. Harley Quinn comics, Suicide Squad comics, as well as any other comics that are incorporated Harley Quinn. According to the actress, at first, she didn't plan to read them at all. Eventually, she did the thing that worried Margot the most was Harley's transformation from a psychologist to a psycho villain. How did her character end up in the outcome? Why did she want to be there? But this part of the story was not fully covered by the comics, and different books proposed different stories, plots. And so her job was to pick whichever version she likes the most and then stick to it. In addition to that, Robbie dived into online forums to learn more about fans' attitude to DC's iconic character. The sole thought of her role was daunting, and the actress had moments of panic. She wanted to please to become a Harley Quinn to rock every scene, and she absolutely did it. Moreover, she did it so well, and she has her own sequel, Birds and Prey, but we'll get back to that later. Finding the voice. Though the animated Harley Quinn had a really high-pitched voice, it wasn't something that would fit well into the David Ayer film. With lots of serious dark scenes to make demanded a different tone of more realistic one. She's got a very high-pitched voice, which for the light-hearted stuff, the crazy stuffs work really well, and when it's a pretty raw emotional scene, you lose the gravity. When you're speaking in such a high voice, it took Robbie a while to find her own distinctive sound. And of course, she had some references to follow. Fortunately for the actress, Harley Quinn was a Brooklyn character, and Margot had already mastered the Brooklyn accent for her role of Naomi Belfort in Wolf of Wall Street. But the director did not see it the way, so Margot found another inspiration, Lorraine Bracco, aka Karen Hill from Goodfellas, perfect tone of New York. Outer boroughs were the perfect model, so Robbie cuts records of Bracco scenes and listened to her voice every day before heading to set. My spectrum goes to Lorraine Bracco to animated Harley, and it's just a roller coaster between those two throughout the film, Robbie concluded. Number 4. Getting into her best shape. Being fully committed to her role, the actress started training 6 months prior to the filming, and her workout routine was intense as hell. Robbie wanted to do the most of her stunts by herself and look really good in those tight booty shorts, so she accepted her own fitness challenge. According to her trainer Andy Hecker, Margot focused a lot on the abs with the Pilates, reformer, and tons of cardio, including running, swimming, and trampoline. And the actress trained 2 to 3 hours a day for a full body workout, toning all the possible types of playing, some leg lifts, rower reps, etc. Apart from classic workout routine, Robbie started doing gymnastics, boxing, and gun training. The actress shared that she mastered the technical side of how to do something, but the lack of actual physical strength did not allow her to put those new skills into action. For quite a long time, can you imagine Harley Quinn holding a revolver with shaky hands? Well, it was one of the Robbie's struggles because her muscles were too sore after all the training she went through, and she just had a look of convincing and scary. Number 5. Doing deep under. The thing she enjoyed the most as her physical preparation was underwater breathing. Margot was trained to hold her breath for up to 5 seconds, and now she calls this skill her new party trick. Margot Robbie, I worked with this amazing freediver, and he said he came in and I did 4 sessions with him. It's all about lowering your metabolic rate. You're kind of like meditate underwater. It's what freedivers do, but it's amazing. Being competitive and overexcited, Robbie tried to hold her breath longer than her stunt double. The actress really wanted to top her doubles 5 and her half 5 minutes, but she was advised against it. The complete opposite of that was the chemical scene where Harley dives into a bath of chemicals to bleach her skin. Robbie calls it the most unpleasant thing she've ever done in her entire life. As the actress shared, it was like the gloggy paint stuff that was so far in my ears and up my nose, and I was choking on it underwater and I couldn't breathe, and I tried to open my eyes but it wouldn't glaze over my eyeballs and I couldn't see the white. It was horrible. Number 6. Understanding codependency and manipulation. Although Margot studied everything she could find out about her fascinating character, there was one thing she could not get on her, and the Joker obsession. Margot Robbie quotes, "I just don't understand how she could be such a badass and then fall to pieces over some guy. I found that really frustrating," unquote. The actress struggled to get why fans love that complete devotion to a guy that treated her so badly, but everything changed after the play, titled Pool for the Love, which Robbie read following the recommendation of her acting coach. The play opened her eyes to extremely dysfunctional relationship and pushed her to learn more about codependency. As a result of her long research, Margot found sense in Harley's behavior and felt empathy for her. She saw her character as an addicted person and alcoholic. In need of a drink, Quinn was considered and compared to Hannibal Lecter in terms of how she could get into someone's head with the power of words and then leave the damage, contrary to Robbie's natural non-conflict behavior. For the character feeds off the confrontation, the director encouraged her to learn to be really mean on set. While they rehearsed and improvised, so the actor had to notice her colleagues' weak spots to get in there and make them squirm and feel like self-conscious. She confessed to feeling awful, but that's what the role demanded of her. Improvising with Joker. Improvising the Joker, how did it feel to play alongside with Jared Leto? Robbie compared it to having front row seats to an incredible show. Her co-star was incredibly committed and he raised the bar all the time. Margot never knew that what was on his mind and what would happen in the next moment, and being a method actor, Leto didn't do rehearsals, so with all that unpredictability, the actress had to go with the flow to catch and match the palpable energy on set. To relate the Queen's psychological background, the actress learned the basics of different mental illnesses. She had to crack the Jokers, so she used MMPI tests, which are used to determine what mental illness people might have. Robbie studied about during her improvisation what would catch Joker off guard, how would he react. That there was a lot of trial and error, but that was one of the things that Margot enjoyed the most. And lastly, breaking up the shadow. Breaking from the shadow, although Margot Robbie nailed playing Joker's crazy girlfriend, she truly wanted to see Harley Quinn's on screen. Emancipation, Robbie saw her character as one who has the strength to overcome her addiction, even in the face of Joker, and to have her own fascinating story. In Bird of Prey, Harley Quinn break up with her psychotic paramour, and actors find his plot twist far the most relatable. The movie gives the fans an opportunity to explore a different Harley, not the one from a tonic love story. What does she like as an individual, and what kind of Gotham will she take us into? Robbie not only starred in his movie but also co-produced it, written, directed, and produced. Woman Birds of Prey is aiming to be less male gaze, as mentioned. So what are your thoughts about this topic? Do you think this video is useful? Please like and subscribe, and see you on our next video.